Hi. Hi, hello, hello, and hi. And welcome to part 27 of 16 Simple. How are we all doing? Hello, it's the Jib. How was the Jib? The 27? Did I write this down as 27? I think I did. It is. Good. Fantastic. Because that's the number we're on. This little light of mine. Woo! Do you know what I was looking? I reckon we'll make this to 30, right? Because if I pop over here, let's have a look. We haven't got an awful lot left of this. I reckon the ending is going to take a little while. We've pretty much already sorted this out. Maybe 30, 31, I think. Hi, Miss. Hi, Christy. Hello. How are we all doing? Yeah, so I reckon about 30, 31. Now, I wanted to know, like, how does that compare to previous draw-throughs we've done? Right. The longest draw-through we've done so far was the Final Fantasy VIII one. That was 22. So we've already surpassed the longest one. In fact, we started the Final Fantasy VIII one, I checked. We started it on the 22nd of September last year. So we've been doing these two draw-throughs for over a year at this point. Yeah, and also, the Citadel of Chaos and Forest of Doom combined our 31 streams, so we might match with this draw-through alone the last two creative draw-throughs, as it were. Amazing. Good. Thawing out after being at the rink. How's you? Oh, I hope you had a good time at the rink. By which I mean I hope that everything's going smoothly. Otherwise it'll be really rough and it'll scratch on the blades. Yeah. So this is a long one. It doesn't feel that long because the last 2 years have just been a blur, but you know. This is why I want to do a short game for the next one. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid one we did, that was 10. So we could have done Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 in that time. No, they had to buy ice cubes to help the ring freeze. Really? Well, that's a poor business plan. Good thing you're managing it. Time isn't real. Time is an illusion. Draw through time doubly so. So yeah. Sorry, just taking a swig of warm drink before it goes cold. Yes, this is a long draw through. Also, I want to float the idea of this whole sort of game designy sort of draw through thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Collaborative. That's it. Streamy, what's it? I broke your brain for just a second. I've already forgotten what it was. So yeah, stuff. Hello, it Doug. Warm drink before it goes cold. You expected a cold drink before it gets warm. No. Cold drink's not going to go warm in this room. Yes, I was going to make pictures, proper, stylistically consistent avatars for the other characters, and I forgot. So here we are. I'm still stealing Mrs. art of Grigori, Chibi's art of Bran, and a doodle I did of Poison Nurse a while ago. So zoomed in on his face. It came out like that, and I was like, yeah, that suits him. I also did Grigori's October doodle yesterday, so I'm familiar with the face at this point. Who else did I do? I did too. Oh yeah, I did October's October drawing. Anywho, good face indeed. Good face done by a very good artist. You should look them up. They're called Just Miss Art. If you go on their Twitter or Instagrams or whatever, you'll see a wonderful picture that they did of my character M. Because, and I stand by this, Miss is by far the person most suited to drawing M. It looks far more like M than any of my drawings do. But anyway. How are we all doing? I've skipped over this by talking about how long this series is. Are we having a good start to the week? Again, apart from possibly a bit cold. Mlem. Yeah, is it good? Is it all right? I haven't drawn anything today, which is a bit of a catchphrase at this point. But it's just because my middle finger's going a bit weird because of sort of where the stylus rests all the time. Like there's a dent there now in the finger, and the nerves are going all strange around it. So I'm like, you finally did your October drawing for Crossroad Art. Ooh, exciting times. I don't think they deserve it. They've got all the power at drawing horses. I don't think they deserve any presents. Show off. That's not true. They're very kind. They're very nice. There's no one at work and you keep having to cover different departments, so not really. Oh dear. That's not great. Horse muscles in the walk side. I know, I was like trying to focus on it to sort of like try and work out if there were like shortcuts taken with like, oh, you just animate these blobs and then from the blobs you can. I couldn't really see anything. It was just like, no, this is just how a horse walks. Oh dear. How utterly dare. How utterly mare. Enough of that. 16 symbols. What's happening? We want to get this under 40 streams, so probably best crack on. So last time, we managed to confront Poison Nurse at the top of the building, activating the machine that will draw all of the magical energy to her, and it didn't go right, and it went out the window. Because it turns out, oh no, she didn't know that her actions were actually inadvertently summoning Shrimp God. She didn't believe all that nonsense. She thought she was just getting magic for herself. Turns out, no. Turns out, Shrimp God. And this, as nobody's really happy with this series of events. Most people are very surprised as to what on earth is happening here. Poison Nurse, I think, knows what's happening, but didn't think it would. Oh, well, probably Peridot probably knows, probably recognizes what's happening. You're trying to keep up with Inktober without proper lighting, so you're going to lurk back and forth. No worries. You're doing a very good job. Many Angela Lunsburys. Angela Lunsbury. So yeah, and big old explosions happen in the tower, and we run down the tower with incredibly well-produced art. And the city is getting all kinds of messed up by the forces and magical powers of Shrimp God, because Shrimp God's done this before in a flashback, which I copied this picture from. It's almost as if it was foreshadowing, but it was actually just me being lazy. Oops, city got wonky indeed. And now we have decided that the new dangerous location is in fact the now destroyed city. Yeah, that's not ideal lighting, is it? No. It's a bone duct tape to a sofa. Can we crowdfund Christy a lamp? Yeah, and that's where we left off. So we decided that the new dangerous location was the city that we were in, and there's a boss, people joined the party, and another boss. We decided that the people who joined the party are, in fact, Poison Nurse, Grigori, and Bran. It presumably would be more, but most of them are deactivated at this point. Hi, Kira, how are you doing? Which reminds me, should I take out the characters from the party who are currently not, you know, sentient? They're here. Most of them being dragged, but they're here. It's a Kiro! Oh, you have to leave in about half an hour, but hello for now. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you have a grand old time doing whatever it is you're going to be doing in half an hour. Almost certainly more productive than this. So I sort of little clairvoyancy looking forward into symbols to come, unveiled 2 bosses, and I think we decided that the idea was there would be a boss that was like too powerful, or that we couldn't fight, and then the characters join, and then we fight it again, and with our powers combined, we managed to actually do it. Maybe it's a good idea to take them away for now so we don't get confused. Sure. So let's get rid of you, and you, and you, and you. There we are. Super sublimin cure-all. Bones thawed, heart warmed, life good. Hot head. Everyone play Death's Door. You're just gonna go driving for a while and then sitting and waiting in the car for a while longer, then more driving, helping your brother with an eye doctor appointment. Marvelous. Crops watered. Definitely watered here, it's been raining very heavily. My cat didn't like it, but she made up for it by eating a sparrow. Yeah, so we decided that it's a boss that's like, something that the abilities of our newly joined characters would be good at. Same as he's not the sparrow. I don't know, not judging Luna's lifestyle. She really wanted to let me know that she caught it as well. So look what I got. Now you may stand 3 feet away from me while I eat it. Do not come closer. Oh dear. This is what happens when you simultaneously own a cat and also really like feeding the birds. Disaster. Boss. We also said that it might be an idea, given that this is linked to Shrimp God, that it might have something to do with the toxic, oozy, sludgy things from before. The sparrow pot was dangerous to your nostrils. Drinking cloak to clarify. Sorry about that. You're always like one of those idiots in RPGs with rapiers, but with a cane. He says an idiot with a rapier. Quick reminder, Brad is using a rolling pin. Like, instead of stashing, just bonking on the head. Bonking is the order of the day. Bonking is how we started this draw through. We have a character named after it. Which we haven't seen for a while. She went missing, I think. That's the thing we should do when we start fleshing this out a little bit, is, you know, Mo should probably be a little bit more worried about that. Brad needs a holiday. Brad needs a lot. Grigori is a bard with the ability to bonk. Yeah, so Grigori sort of replaces, I guess, Gil in the bard slot. Poison Nurse acts as a kind of other side to Mo. Poison Nurse and Mo have the sort of duality thing going on. I don't know what Brand's deal is. Brand's just sort of strong and capable, which is, you know, not funny at all. Grigori is a rogue with the conman archetype. Indeed. I was going to say maybe Brand's got some fun things going on with the arm. It's sort of like a magic, sort of similar to like a sort of mechanical equivalent of Jethro's nature magic stuff. That's all I was thinking with that. I was just thinking how they could slot into what's missing, you know? Cool. What do I draw? I need to draw a boss. In 20 minutes, I haven't drawn anything. Draw sludge. Sludge. Big blob. Sludge. That's the boss. Here's Mo for scale. Right. Big boss. Let's do... Is it a plot important boss? Not really, no. Otherwise, it would be a red. It is a red triangle is plot important, which I do not expect you to remember. Whatever. I haven't drawn a thing. Hang on. The whole magic leeching thing come and limits the wildness of the bosses a tad? On the contrary, where did all the magic go? Presumably this is a boss brought about by Shrimp God in some respect. Like, it's not Shrimp God. It's just that, you know. Put it this way, there are a lot of bosses in Final Fantasy X which can basically be described as bits of the big boss. But I didn't consider them important, so... I think I did myself an Escher. So let's look at... Wild Magic Blob. So it's going to be called Runoff Blob or Byproduct. Something along those lines. Have we named any of the bosses up until this point? Probably not. Big ol' blobby thing. Yes, it's a very distant relative of Flynn. Also remember some of this. This goop sort of defies gravity to a certain extent. And by remember, I mean, I forgot. By you should remember this, I mean, please remind me. Looks like they'll be friends with Ceaseless. It's got a bit of a Ceaseless vibe going on. However, this boss is designed to be ceased because it is supposed to be something that the magic characters or the new characters are good at. I don't know. How would Brown Grigori and Poisonous team up to defeat this blobster? Great. Well, have fun, folks. Salt burn will make a salt cannons dry it out or melt it like a slug. I mean, these things were made by Shrimp God. You would imagine they'll be somewhat impervious to salt or salt water. In fact, the sort of whole origin of these were they were supposed to represent like pollution, and we had like polluting things coming out of the water. We will defeat this with a friendly environmental leaflet campaign. We'll dress up as Superman and climb a skyscraper to raise awareness. Soap then, anti-pollution soap. So a very long time ago, approximately 25 weeks ago, we did have a fight, like one of our first boss fights in the game, where I was like Mo was fighting a thing, and she just sort of had like a divine spark of inspiration. I was like, oh, this is how you disable the rock golem, if I remember correctly. And you know, she just happened to realize, oh, this is what you do to take care of it. I'm wondering if we could do something with that, like not have Mo do a Deus Ex bonk in her, but you know, somehow intertwine that idea. Not good with non-violent solutions, to be honest. I never said it had to be non-violent. Like I say, most of the solutions in this game are bonking. You know, maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe it's like, you know, the reason the first fight goes so badly is because Mo isn't having any ideas. What's happening? Blobzilla. Blobzilla's happening. You know, Deus Ex Bonking. I was talking about how a very, very long time ago in the story, Mo was fighting a boss that seemed incredibly implausible for her to fight. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Was it back here? Yeah, it was actually. It was there. But Mo had like a divine moment of inspiration, and worked out, oh, if I hit it here and here and here, it'll go, don't stop hitting me. And you could easily, it'll slink away back into the forest. And the idea was that she sort of vicariously got that knowledge from Grandma Bonk because of the whole connection between her and what is essentially a deity. And now we've gotten to this point. Grandma Bonk's nowhere to be seen. I'm wondering if Poison Nurse begrudgingly helps Mo unlock some knowledge. See, I was wondering almost the other way around. That Mo, like I say, the first fight goes so badly because Mo just doesn't have anything. Grandma Bonk's gone. There's no divine inspiration. Something's not right. And it's by, like, actually properly working together and everybody, you know, Poison Nurse sharing information, Mo sharing information with Poison Nurse, and so on and so forth, that together they come up with an idea. And then maybe, I don't know, Poison Nurse works out, hey, then maybe we can actually, you know, do a thing without having to hoard all of the power, which is what I thought Mo was doing. Yay, working together. Teamwork, the power of teamwork. Turns out nepotism isn't the only way. Teamwork. We got a mumbo jumbo before that fight, though? Yeah, that was with the thing, wasn't it? Hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, it's just after we've defeated Capitalist. We've got mumbo jumbo, which was Shrimp God. And now we're here. Didn't the Time Traveler tell Mo to do something during the Golem fight? That was after the Golem fight. I can't remember what the Time Traveler said, which is a bit of an issue. You meant the Golem fight? Okay. I mean, my point is that doesn't happen here. So... Point being, there isn't no mystical mumbo jumbo. Actually, we can have a look at the thingamabob. Whereabouts was it? No, we had a mystical mumbo jumbo afterwards. Also, it was really bright up this end. I forgot I put a gradient over the whole thing. The story got darker, quite literally. Yeah, so we didn't have a mystical mumbo jumbo during the fight. We had one afterwards. Either way. Okay, I reckon it's one of those things where it's, you know, oh, the Mo tries to fight but isn't having any luck. Things aren't working. Why isn't it working? This usually works. So work together to come up with some sort of device to drain the magic from it? Maybe, I don't know. We need to work that out. We need to work together to work this out. It's a very meta story of working together, because we actually have to work together. You're just thinking if the portal person told us how to do stuff? We didn't meet the portal person. No, there was just... The portal person was afterwards. Because, yeah, here was the golem, and then the next picture is the portal person, so... I can't remember what she said. But we also met them. And they weren't looking too hot. Bran, Mo, and Gregorian Bran can run destruction. Gregory can usher Stoker to create a distraction. Boy, follow me. Ragdoll did say something about the introduction of a new battle mechanic in-game where people can join up for a special attack or something. Okay. Stoker's having a day, his friends just turned to coal. Thing is, I don't think Stoker's all that bothered about that, because it was just a lump of coal when Stoker took him on. He turned him into a friend. And he'll do it again. His friend just turned to coal. They always were coal. But the friend will return. Stoker has faith in Colin. Colin's hiding. Maybe that's an idea for a little part of this story, is like, you know, everyone expects Stoker to be freaking out about this whole thing. Sensitive child, oh no! But he's actually just, you know, taking it quite rationally. Stoker's very confident Colin's okay, yes. But you stop worrying about Colin. Colin's fine. You stop worrying about getting Flo back. Colin's just quiet sometimes. That's... Also, I was drawing this city like it's full of skyscrapers. So no idea what the technology level of this game is. These are wooden beamed skyscrapers. It's all over the place. Don't worry about it. I do like the idea of that, actually. Like a Tudor sort of style building, but it's just skyscraper. It could be fun. As is the case with most JRPGs, a town in medieval age living down the road from Flying Car Land. Indeed. I mean, I can't worry too much about there being skyscrapers if, you know, we are, albeit possibly briefly, going to end up in a city built entirely of metal over a lake of lava. Okay, how does this work? Gotta think. Brain on, please. Brain activate. I feel like the centerpiece is Mo and Poison Nurse, right? It's the two of them sort of working together. Maybe there's like a bit of a back and forth. Someone said, it might have been Ragdoll, saying that like Poison Nurse is very hesitant to do this, and it's like, I'm basically just helping you because I want that power back, you know. I'm not actually trying to save the world. I want the magic that I spent so much time trying to get. And Mo's like begrudgingly, no, we've got to do this to help everybody. Look at all these people, and so on and so forth. And slowly over time, they just sort of realize, hey, if we stop arguing, you're a cool special attack with them. I'm trying to think of one. That's the thing. I know that's what the next drawing is. I just want to think of what it is. There's a giant divide between technologies and materials. Do you remember when we were worrying about whether or not it would be technologically consistent for this world to have a steam train? And that we actually came up with a character or an idea for a character who was an engineer who's made the trains essentially part familiar, and that's why they worked, even though the technology level of this world shouldn't make it work. And now we've got skyscrapers. Don't worry about it. They would have a vested interest in stopping this because, you know, the city would just drop into the lava with the magic keeping it stable going. We'll get back to this conversation. Let's deal with this first. Problem is, in my head, the only thing I can think of is the Dragon Ball Z fusion thing, and I'm like, that's not what I want. It doesn't help that I don't really have any proper... Okay. What have we seen so far with regards to these characters and their abilities? Because we should probably use that, right? So Poison Nurse has got this whole, like, shadow thing going on. It's got the ability to extract energy, but also the ability to like create shadow things. And like, you know, the hallucinations. She's also poisonous, so she has some understanding of chemistry. And we also talked about last time that the Poison Nurse is very friendly now, and I'm helping save the world. I'm good friend now. We're not sure. I don't know entirely what the tone is. She's working with us. But maybe we're not entirely sure whether that's entirely, you know, philanthropic. Poison Nurse enchants poisons Mo's broom. And she flies on it. Finally, payoff for the hat. Which would help, but I don't know what we would do. They both fly on it. And Poison Nurse throws chemical unguents down which dissipate the sludge. They break it apart on a chemical basis. Because I don't know, maybe Poison Nurse has researched this and she's like, I don't want sludge clogging up my bloody lab. This stuff keeps appearing, I've got to get rid of it. Broom-based bombing run. Okay. Okay, there's some ideas. Some ideas, I'm good with this. So we have that. What's everyone else do? Yeah, team attack 2 fronts. We've got the sky being taken care of by Mo and Flo. Mo and Poison Nurse. Flo is still just a frog. Cheering. No, we'll be doing something. It's teamwork. Let's not let the magic people do everything. Also, yeah, when was the last time I drew the broom? Drew the broom. It's their job, they caused all this. Yes, and if you only rely on the people who caused it to solve the problem, then the problem is never going to get solved, is it? Teamwork, everybody working together. To be clear, that's just a shouty mouth and it's not a happy shouty mouth. Probably like a mini enemy spurting out of the main enemy and the less capable friends dealing with. That feels rude. Less capable friend. How dare. How dare you? No, the idea is a little scene where they get the broom up and running, and Poison Nurse goes, "Fly!" And I was like, "It's not going. So take the bloody backpack off." Of course, we could solve protagonists always fix the problem they made in the end. Hello. You're putting away all of your new bedding for the bed. You heard making Mo fly. Yes. Poison Nurse is using the magic to help the broom fly. Mo will fly the thing. And Poison Nurse will throw dissolving chemicals onto the goo to help dissolve it. Meanwhile, we're trying to work out what everyone else is doing. Maybe there's like I'm thinking about this now from a gameplay perspective. Maybe this is like you have the Mo and Flo situation is like the gimmick fight, right? There's just a bit of like, you know, oh, it's a new section, there's new mechanics, you do a little flying section on the broom or whatever. But the rest of them are doing like a proper fight. Also, hooray for new bedding. Hope it's lovely and soft. Quick reminder of another time when I said, there's no magic in this. We got arm swallowed. Goo dissolvent? You mean Mother's recipe for drain cleaner? Very exciting. New duvet, new pillows, new covers, and sheets. My word, the whole shebang. I thought it was just sheets and covers and stuff. To be fair, for me, it always takes a little while before I get comfortable for a new duvet, but... Brad regrets joining the party. Brad regrets pretty much most actions that have caused her to get to this point in the game. It's like, yes, this is Mum's recipe, but I found a new use for it, so shush. I can't remember what's going on with this outfit. There wasn't much magic, and then someone broke everything. I don't know, I blame Dark. Yeah, a little better in my head. Oh well, these things happen. Poisonous. You can all help. Nah, we're good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, what do the other characters do? Because there's not a lot going on here. We got Shin Kicker, Baker, Shoveler, Grigori, and Bran. Bran, if only we had our robot tank handy. Maybe he has something in his cane he can shoot out or the like. Yeah, that would be great. Pulls out gun. Why haven't you been using this all this time? There's only one person in this world who can make ammo for it. And Wick stabbed him. I'm presuming at this point, Brad's probably got all of the animals in his apron. Just saying, the joke of the poison nurse and Gregor siblings was made because Grigori also has fun concoctions and tonics. Maybe he has something like that that's going on too, but different? Maybe. Maybe him and Stoker are like, you know, he's tossing them up in the air and Stoker's whacking them with the shovel right into the mouth of the creature or something. Because, you know, those two characters have a history. I'm trying to think of ways of combining things that have happened already, you know? Taught the lad good! Oh god, at the end of this, is Stoker going to refer to Grigori as Uncle Grigori? Like, nobody's happy with that. Everyone's saying, don't call him that, don't call him. Maybe Poison Nest is riding side saddle. Yeah. This is a very, very rough sketch. The idea of this was to have a sort of top-downy sort of thing. The only person there is happy with that is Schrodinger, because that means he has a nephew now, because that's definitely how that works. Yeah, Poison Nest and Mo doing their thing. You have Grigori throwing Stoker, making him chuck things at the thing, while other special attacks are there. I don't know, really. Poison Nest is going with, yeah, it's team up. Team up times. Villains and heroes working together to defeat a common evil. I don't know how to draw a giant blob from above, turns out. Turns out that's not something you really practice for. Would this be a draw-through stream if I don't try and plan out a picture that it really doesn't work, but I'm at least attempting to make interesting. Brand needs one. Yeah, I'm trying to think like I want a Bran and Brad team up purely for alliterative purposes. Every combination of party members has a special attack, which you do not have to draw and should not draw. Also, you imagine Bran and Brad just look at each other and sigh before doing this. I think, yeah, Bran and Brad, like, they're kindred spirits in as much as they didn't want anything to do with this. They just wanted to do their jobs. Also, every combination of players, so every combination of characters, that would be what? Every pairing would be 42 possible pairs. Is that right? My brain's not working. Yeah, 42. 7 times 6. No, sorry, 24. No, 21. 7 times 6 then divided by 2 is 21. Oh, the special attacks. Only one possibility. 21. Only one. One? One. One? You sure about that? There's 21. I'm pretty sure there's 21 different pairs out of 7 things. Oh, my combinatorics is very rusty. That's 7 options for the first person, 6 options for the second person. But then you divide it by 2 because it doesn't matter what order they came in. Or if you prefer, 7 choose 2. 7 factorial multiplied by, or divided by 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial. No! Bangs the Ben! The combinatorical Ben? Right, cool. That's that. I also want to draw, Gregorian Stoker, because it sounds fun. Okay, those rough poses. Let's try and make it work. As actual human beings. He says, I'm familiar with Grigori's face, and then fails to be able to draw him. I remember how I usually draw him in this style. Why does he wear a little hat? Always gets in the way of the hair. I mean, I know why, it's Grigori, but why? Oh, I don't know his face. You'd like to know a secret? Because you gave them the hat, then the hair, and didn't know what the middle bit of the hair would look like without the hat, so superglued it. Yeah, I mean, it should have come off at this point, right? With the whole vent thing. Could be hiding a bald spot. Could be. Or the hat is hair. Ooh, bit of a Bayonetta thing going on. I guess I'd mention he's a bit annoyed that he's throwing out merchandise, but that ridiculous hip thrust. You know, Mo will be getting a bill at the end of this. Well, should be getting some sort of non-provable monetary demand. Can't have much in writing, you know. The Mo poisonous. You bill your sister? Yes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this perspective. You also build their system when they were kids. Parents made the decision in the city of Google.
How dare you not draw something with absolute precision and perfection in a small amount of time. You too shall be receiving a bill.
Is it like a platypus? Because I'm quite happy to receive a platypus. Yeah, how do hands work? I don't know. And has 52 unpaid bills from a Gregorian, refuses to pay any of them. Platigon! We must enlist the help of our resident Platigon drawer. Why do none of the characters look like themselves anymore? Sorry, I just briefly had to make the pose that I wanted to have because I don't know what's going on. What was Stoker's outfit? Pretty sure it's shorts. That's better.
How dare you?
That's another bill. Need to make a bill emote of Grigori just writing down a little. Or handing over a note. And handing over an invoice. Someone needs to get Stoker some shoes. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Stoker suddenly has such long and slender legs. As a kid. You could probably take the drawings I've done for some of these characters and just make like 3 or 4 characters out of them. It's like I was looking up some self-portraits of an undisclosed famous artist for whom I am attempting to copy the style of their stuff for October, and like they're not particularly consistent. It must be said. Looking at them looks like a lineup of actors who have played that person in documentaries. Weekly reminder not to bring back magic until Grigori has removed Wick from his pocket. Thank you for reminding me. Can I do a perspective-y thing? Yeah, something like that. Speaking of things coming back to life, where did they leave Gabe? They dragged him out of the building. As you'll see by the fantastic artist rendition. They dragged him down the ventilation system. So somewhere. I try not to break any of these, boy. You might not grow any bigger if you do. I like this lost child, adoptive villain father vibe. Uncle, sorry, not father. Brandy's carrying Gil, Brandy's carrying Gabe. They're bonding. They're bonding over having to lug inanimate giant friends around. My word, is that a time already? Whoa, jeez. Okay. Didn't he say he would teach Stoke life skills? Yeah. Yeah, I think he did. Bran has the worst job considering Gil is canonically light while Gabe is a robot. Yeah. Still not entirely sure. I mean, Bran's just strong, I guess. So... Miss posting weird stuff. Cool. So there's that. There's also like Peridot. Was Peridot here for the Golden Gay Fat? They were calling him Dense. It's not weird, it's the Professor. Definitely sounds... Oh yeah, I forgot about we talked about that in the stream, didn't we? Taking other titles and making Doctor Who characters out of them. The Professor, the Secretary, the Manager. It's better to have undisclosed, hardy but light material, I have you know. That being said, we did talk about this at the beginning of the train being very lightweight but very strong. So maybe... Because we were talking about it maybe being like some sort of weird metallic wood or like metallic fungus sort of thing. Where it's like, it's got the strength, but it's also very light. And that's why the train can move under... I mean, we came up with that to excuse the fact that this is a relatively high technology thing in a relatively low technology world, and we are now fighting amongst skyscrapers. So the argument doesn't need to be there anymore. Ceramics and compound materials. It's a nice way of saying it was made of kind of crap metal and ground up bits of plate. Gabe was made on the cheap, right? He still works fine. Company cut corners. What are you gonna do? Okay, so that leaves Peridot, Brad and Bran to be doing things. Like I said, I guess it's implied that there's a lot of things that could be happening in this fight. And we don't necessarily need to illustrate all of them. It would be nice to get them all doing something. I mean, maybe Brad and Bran have a like, because clearly, physical attacks aren't going to do an awful lot against this thing, and so it's mostly the chemical work that's going to be doing the brunt of the heavy lifting. So maybe Brad and Bran just have like a little. Brad, Bran, and Peridot collectively have this little mini game where they've just got to like avoid sort of falling clumps of sludge while dragging around large things. Because Peridot's got Buffy, Brad's got Gil, Bran's got Gabe, sorry. So yeah, I don't know, maybe they got a mini game of just avoiding getting hit. Peridot's got it hardest because they've got to drag around something that's dragging back. That's an idea. Either way, I think we got the boss covered, right? Covered in solvent. Sorry, I just realised I got some web pages open that I didn't need to, so hopefully that wasn't interfering with bitrate and such. Okay. What I probably should have done while I was doing this was reveal another symbol so that we can worry about what's going to happen after this. Oh! It's an animation. Animation? What? That's really helped the strip. What? Who? What? Where? What? How? What? Where? When? Why? When? How? No. You're being silly. I'm being confused. This seems to be our perpetual situation whenever I stream. You're being silly and I'm being confused. Ceramics doesn't just mean pottery. They're bulletproof vest plates made out of the stuff you know. Yeah, but I'm talking about Gabe, who is made out of broken plates. Symbol. We have. For God's sake, can we roll this into one? Can we? Yes. Okay. So this is the initial fight where nothing was really going right. Then we have the fight of the flying on the broom and the fight of the hitting with the shovel and all the different fights going on there. That's fine. That's what you get. It's fine. Boom. Oh, a MacGuffin is used. Okay. What have we got? Toaster? We don't often use MacGuffins. The toaster, the map, the crystals? We got the crystals, didn't we? That seems important. The floppy disk? Crystals and floppy disks. What a world. What a world we've created. Oops, I'm breaking everything. My apologies. Should update. That's a lot of bosses. I guess I must have looked at it and gone, that looks right for the end of the game. I seem to remember, I should specify, you should try and get your plot where you can get it for the end of the game, because if I remember correctly, the algorithm for the last column was biased against story things and more in favor of like bosses and stuff, because that's mostly what happens at the end of the game. Just lots and lots of bosses. So it wasn't supposed to be for this column, but apparently it was. You don't remember the law we made up for the crystals, but we can maybe lock up goop in the crystals or something. The crystals, I seem to recall, were being used as part of the process of poison nurse trapping the or capturing the magic or something like that. Because she conducted her experiments in the lab next to the cave that had the crystals and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's part of all that. So maybe now the poison nurse is with us, maybe she says something along the lines, I'll be able to properly take down this thing if it wasn't for the, if I had any of my equipment, any of the crystals or whatever on me. And Mo just pulls one out and goes, what, like this? Suck bad magics in crystals. Yes. The floppy disk actually solidifies what its power is aimed at. Feed the sludge to the floppy disk, turn it into a big crystal stone. The floppy disk actually solidifies what its power is aimed at. Feed the sludge to the floppy disk, turn it into a big crystal stone. My brain is having difficulty parsing this. Again, silliness, confusion. To be fair, I've not been on top form for the last couple of days, so... what its power is aimed at? I mean, you did write that. Yeah, you didn't need to correct that. That is what is written. Feed floppy sludge the floppy disk, turn not floppy. 2 floppies make it hard? Don't clip that. Brain, quickly. Anything. Just anything. Didn't mean that, never mind. Well, I got a VOD title at least. Solidifies it could just be turned into a big statue effectively. It feels a bit Deus Ex floppy. Just, I mean, what was the point of all of the chemicals if we're just going to throw the floppy disk in, And he's brain sometimes. I was just trying to make a maths connection. I've got the same problem. It's like, it's like two negatives multiply the 2 negatives together, you got a positive. No. Then you say the words, and then your brain goes, hang on. There's another world you are not considering here. And while you may not inhabit it, it exists. Give me a second one and suddenly they realized they could use the floppy. I feel like the crystals are more appropriate here. Also, I thought I'd set up a thing where it's like, you don't get MacGuffins near the end of the game, but you use more of them. Evidently not. Looking at the last couple of columns, evidently that I didn't do that. I feel like the floppy disk will get use later, maybe. I don't know whether it's a MacGuffin or not. But okay, hang on. Let's take a step back. What do we want to do before the final part of this game? Do we want to restore some of the magic? Do we want to resurrect some characters? Because if so, we should probably be thinking about doing that now. Right? Do we want to get Jethro and that back? Maybe the crystal could be useful there. Maybe we could use it to like siphon some of the energy from the monsters that we've just killed back into some of the characters. And maybe that could also include Orbit, who, could then actually, read us the floppy disk or whatever. So we could use 2 MacGuffins in one. Thoughts. Maybe we're just flying around on this broomstick. We finally kill the big old monster. All the energy is like whooshing around And Poison Nurse is like, this is a lot of energy. I can't control it. I need, I need my equipment. Then she goes, wait, hang on. This is attracted to you. What are you doing? I don't know. Mo's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to fly a bloody broomstick. I've never done this before. And that's when Poison Nurse finds the crystals, like, perfect! We can use this. We can use it to siphon and focus the energy. And there's a little bit of a tussle, probably, of Poison Nurse trying to point it at herself, and Mo going, no! We have friends down here. You're confused. That's fair. I am also often confused. What would you like explanation about? So the idea in my head, whether that's what we're going with or not, I don't know, is we kill the big sludge thing through a series of mini games, apparently. And all of the magical energy that was creating it is dispelled. And Poison Nurse can't focus that much energy, and it's just going to disperse, or it's just going to go back to Shrimp God or something. She's like, oh no, I can't focus this thing. But we have one of the crystals from the cave where she was doing her experiments. And that's the thing, that they were part of the experiments that were being used to focus the energy in the first place. And so she gets hold of the crystal and is like, okay, I can focus the energy with this thing. This is getting to the convoluted, nothing really makes sense anymore part of the game. I mean, kinda. I feel like we've already passed that point a long time ago. Maybe it's like we trap goop energy in the crystal, and then later learn through the floppy disk, we find out that we can redirect it back into people through the crystal. Perhaps that works. So it just happens to get absorbed into the crystal, and it's glowing, and it's like, But would Poison Nurse not know that? Maybe not. Maybe the crystals were there incidentally. Maybe the crystals were in the cave where she was working, and that's why her research was working. And she didn't know this whole time that it was the crystals that was doing it. Then she has another existential crisis of like, even that didn't work. Even that wasn't me. The only thing I'm worried about, right, is when are we going to get people back? Because if we want to get them back before the final area, we've only got 3 symbols left. Like I said, I don't know what the symbols are going to be in the sort of second to last part. Also, I guess we do need a symbol of like people joining the party for them to properly come back. So maybe, because they went in a death symbol, which I guess also counts as a people leaving the party symbol. Maybe there is no other people join the party symbol. Maybe this is it. Dunno, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. Okay, so in that case, what's this symbol then? Should we do? We'll do your intermediate idea then, of like the energy gets absorbed into the crystal, but we don't know what to do with it. I like the idea of the floppy disk actually having the information about how this all works, because then that makes sense as to why they wanted us to have that information just as the machine was being activated, because they're like, oh hey, you need to know about how this machine works, and then the machine started, and now we don't know. We can always edit it later. True. I just, I like to try and work with what we have while we have it. Okay, so. Like the idea of the floppy disk having that information. That does make sense. I'm just worried. We need to find a situation in which we'll be able to use the floppy disk and then have the situation of being able to use the information we get from the floppy disk. And there's 3 symbols left. If we want it before the final area. Because in my head, the final area is like, oh, everyone gets ready. And then we go into this final really weird, strange, surreal place. And it's just a big series of battles until we get to the end and there's no real story happening. That might not be the case here. That's just how those stories go in my brain. So perhaps I'm being a bit too restrictive. Who knows? We can do it if we be and cue it. Right, so as the goop deserves. We get to the really quiet bit of the Adrian von Ziegler Celtic music playlist. It was a very long, quiet song at the end. Actually, while I'm doing this, let's have a look at the final symbol of this column. And then we can chat about how we want this all to go. Final symbol. Oh, good. It's another boss. But a plot important one this time. So this is one we can actually think about properly rather than just more blobs. Your brain is mush today. That's good, so's mine. We can leave that symbol, that's fine. We don't have to worry about that now. Yeah, I don't know why for some reason. I've been tired all day. It's very strange. So I will be perfectly happy to accept your own tiredness as a reason not to do that. Ragdoll, we're counting on you. Hey Ragdoll! Hope you're enjoying the VOD. Feel free to skip the rest of it. We're not going to talk anymore about the story. We're all tired. I think maybe it's because it's like getting darker earlier. Might be that. And I have to. Today was actually the first day that I woke up and it was pitch black. But I woke up on time. Just so happened that there was a very, very, very big rain cloud. And Kiki was outside. She was getting all wet. Like I say, it didn't seem to bother her too much. She still managed to chase a sparrow. Phoning the RSPCA, you left the Queen outside! Her only natural response to the situation was murder. Didn't leave her outside. She wanted to go out at 4 o'clock in the morning. So she went out at 4 o'clock in the morning. And at 6:30 in the morning, it was raining. Did we use the MacGuffin? The MacGuffin, we picked up the crystals which are a MacGuffin, and they are being used in the form of they are absorbing the energy, and we're like, we now have the energy that we need, we just need to know how to use it. Again, it depends on what we come up with for the boss, as to whether or not we also use the floppy disk at this point, or the crystals, or whatever, we don't know. Anyway, thank you, Peridot, for stealing the crystals for no particular reason. They were shiny, alright? I do need to do a nice picture for each of the characters. I have an idea for a silly video based on... silly little design video. For 16 symbols. And it'd be nice to have a good picture of each of the characters. So I might... maybe I'll do that on the Friday Hangout. Friday Patreon thing. Also, yeah, sorry patrons for forgetting to... to update on Patreon itself the October drawings in advance. I completely forgot to do those for the last 4 days. Supposed to show you what happens when you forget about her. Oh, nasty. She was in that mood after catching it and eating it. She was in that sort of, you know, triumphant, don't go near me, I'm in charge now mood. There's a murdered sparrow in chat. How dare you forget about us? Miss is now also in the I murdered the thing, now I'm in charge mood. Only Miss murdered thousands of innocent ice cubes. Thousands! This is the way we do this, isn't it? We have a system for this. Oops. Oh, that system. Rim lighting always adds value. Boss could be someone who will teach them how to use the power, but they have to prove worthy. At this point, really? In the middle of the apocalypse. It's a bit cocksure, isn't it? Representative of some old gods, or Yeast God finally enters the scene. I still think Yeast God is very much an optional boss, which I will have to design at some point. Ugh. You didn't pour ice cubes into the rink. No. But you gave the orders. They were only following orders. Sorry, Dark. I do feel like this entire stream I've taken your ideas and gone, no. It just feels bad. Yeah, so does Poison Nurse know anything about the crystals or not? There's a question. Maybe she knows something, but not everything. I mean, clearly she doesn't know everything, otherwise we wouldn't have a conundrum on our hands, but... I feel like at the very least she's interested in what's going on. Brain tired. We are currently in brain tired mode. Same. Choose the tiredly. Water saving. It's the best. Honestly, I have no idea what's happening because you're zoning in and out, so snoozy. You apologize because you want to join in, but your brain, she sleeps. Look, you get some good sleep. You have confessed that you know most of this story has gone over your head because I've poorly explained it. Everyone, you would have to be here every week in order to hear all of it. So it's fully understandable if you know don't want to catch every single detail of the end of the story. There's always the VOD if you want to catch up. I don't think there's any more information we're going to be going through today. We're all too sleepy. And Paul explained it. You weren't here for 5 months. Regardless, I said I would set up systems that would allow people to catch up, even if they missed the streams, and I didn't. I had plans for this to be good and make sense. Also, you're huge. Also, your familiar is still intact. Not that they do much. Maybe they do. Maybe they produce part of the venom anti-venom thing. There we go. One frog looks after another. Or a toad looks after a frog. Was Flo a frog or a toad? Did we work that out? Firstly, it's good. Secondly, nothing we collaborate on ever makes total sense all of the time. So stop it. Making wonderful drawings with sleepy brain. Making sleepy drawings with a sleepy brain. Frog? Question mark? Yeah, the Flo is a frog. Or a toad. I have to consult the Chib. But Chib is also sleepy. Now, do we call this the sleep stream? Or do we call it Two Floppies Make a Hard? Because help me on what? Was Flo a frog or a toad? Is Flo a frog or a toad? Either. I'm trying to put them together. It's like, is it a toad helping out a frog, or is it two frogs? Frog. Okay, and the poisonous one, was that a toad or a frog? You are expert amphibian handler. Spiky frog. Frog and spiky frog. That I cannot argue with. And have no intention of. In fact, it'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? I think you'll find. I don't even know. What is the difference between a frog and a toad? Wasn't it a thorny dragon? Maybe. Maybe frogs are dragons in this world. They are the descendants of dragons. In Dark Souls, they turned into the gaping dragon and stuff like that. In this world, they turned into frogs. Actually, we did say... Didn't we say that Avonvale was in the same world as this? Because there's a dragon in Avonvale. And that's just like a big old lizardy friend. With a rock on their back. Okay, cool. So we have that. Now what's this boss? Boss. How about... No, that wouldn't help. I was thinking, like, how about we get some sort of small indication that this process... Because we don't even know whether this process is reversible, right? Have we actually seen anything revived from the... We're hoping it is. Like, our characters are hoping that this is possible to reverse. So what I'm thinking is maybe, like, we see... Smaller, I thought it said small. No, smaller. But I tend to blur syllables together because I mumble. I don't even know what a s'more is. What is a s'more? I hear people talking about them. S'more. S'more. It's got an apostrophe in it, apparently. It's popular in the United States and Canada, consisting of one or more toasted marshmallows and a layer of chocolate sandwiched between two pieces of graham cracker. It's a weird combination of things. A s'more indication that this process is reversible. A s'more indication that we can untoast this marshmallow. So what I'm thinking is maybe something simple like... I don't know, maybe flow. Maybe something like some of this excess energy that's going into the crystal goes into flow or like loaf or something like that, and they sort of snap back. And this is like a little bit of a glimmer of hope. They're like, oh, if we can do this, you know, if we can do this for everyone else, then we can get people back and we can start actually fighting back for this. This is a reversible process. And we know that a bunch of this energy just went into this crystal. We just need to work out how to get it out, etc. Something like that. And it's good to do it with a familiar, because the familiar is not part of the party per se. That's the sentence. They're not part of the party per se. And as a consequence, we don't need a symbol for them to rejoin the party. So maybe Flo is revived at this point. Or Loaf. Loaf's fine. Loaf's just in an apron. Bring Flo back. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're ending on a high. We're ending on a nice... Ooh, what's happening? Wait, hang on. What's going on? I don't think Flo's ever had eyebrows before, but now she does. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is like our indication of, okay, this process is definitely reversible. We just need to work out how to get the energy, and we need to work out how to focus it. Magic is stored in the eyebrows. Oh god, I'm very magical then. He's bloody trim these things. I'm not quite Christopher Lee, but getting there. Yeah, so that's our indicator that something is good. But now we have to fight a plot important boss. We've got a bunch of energy in the crystal. Presumably there's enough energy in this crystal to revive at least our party characters. We just need to work out how to use it. The information might be on a floppy disk. We'll work that out as we go along. And there's a boss that we need to fight, which is plot important. So it's... But plot important as a reminder means either it's just a recurring boss, so it's one we've seen before or we'll see again later, or the act of fighting and defeating it advances the plot in a significant fashion. Rather than just gets it out the way, you know? Cool. Okay, I think that's a good place to leave it. Enough to be intrigued by. So as a reminder, we have the boss to do. But then immediately after that, we're just going to go to a friendly place that we've never been to before and do a couple of short things. He says, kind of hoping one of these is plot. Maybe we'll spend hours here, who knows? And then after that, we're just going to the final dangerous place, which is usually a weird, wibbly-wobbly, surreal environment. You know, the strange magical world that Shrimp God has made in the clouds or whatever. Another 9 hours of cutscenes. Here we come. Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's what we're sort of looking forward to, as it were. I think this is getting there. It's taking a little bit of sort of jostling in the right direction. But, again, I apologize. I always feel bad when somebody suggests something and I say no. I just don't want this story to directly contradict itself, which probably feels like far too much of an ask for how this is written. Yeah, we'll get there. It's okay. I'm sorry. You have good ideas. You know, I cannot knock your chops as a story writer. You're a GM of like 20 games. I'm a GM of one. This. We're mushing this together like two dry clumps of clay. Oh god, my only experience in attempting to do like clay pottery stuff was we went to a museum and they had a little interactive exhibit that kids could go and mess around with some clay and try and make a pot, and it was just the driest clay. I just thought I was doing something wrong. I was like, it's not working, why is it not working? It's hurting my fingers. That is my abiding memory of pool. Anyway. It's working, but it's taking some time. It's going to take a battering with a rolling pin. Difference is, you know mostly how things work. This is completely improv. True. Yeah. You do the improv beforehand in your head, and then you work out, okay, this is good and this is good, and so on and so forth. I mean, there is improv obviously in GMing, but you know, you've got a decent outline beforehand. Yay! There we work. Teamwork of the bot and the chat and the stream. It's all good. It worked. Fantastic. Yeah, cool. We're getting there. We are getting there. The story is... Most of the story is still in my head, and it does make sense. We just need to actually sit down and properly flesh it out. I think this is not a... You know, I'm quite happy in saying that this is a better story than Final Fantasy VIII. I don't think that's, you know, controversial. We just need to nail the ending, I guess. It shouldn't be too bad. We've got a good catharsis coming up in the form of restoring the magic to the world and all that sort of stuff. But maybe there's a twist. Maybe things don't go quite right. But then there's a little anti-twist, and then things do turn right. But there has to be a sacrifice in exchange. I don't know. Angsty squall noises. Those kids didn't put the clay back in the bag. No. Right, I'm going to stop talking now. And go and have a shower and sleep. Because I've got to prepare for the madness that is tomorrow's stream, which is we're doing the Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth speedrun. Not inside. Inside my brain is madness. There we go. We're doing Drunk Vision Simulator Speedrun. There's an interesting fact about that. We can actually avoid quite a lot of the drunk vision. Unfortunately, the consequences of avoiding the drunk vision are that the screen is also obscured by something else. So we can never really win. It's October's madness. Yeah, so look forward to that. I should be able to do it in one stream. That's the dream. We might even be able to watch some cutscenes for fun to take the piss out of them. Not many though, surprisingly. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming along. Apologies that this was a little rambly. Okay, the one that won't open, or budge, or open. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I made the Hang on, gotta show this. I made timestamps of every occasion that Jack says something inane through the playthrough. And I was gonna make a supercut of every single time. And I don't know if it's worth doing, because it will be like 15 minutes long. Just 15 solid minutes of Jack going, "It won't budge, it won't open, he's dead." Yeah, so there we are. These are the timestamps. Every time he says something inane or pointless or just funny. These are all clips. That's so much, I know. Gonna be honest, you couldn't sit through that. You would cut your ears off. Yeah, I don't know whether to finish that. I was doing it as I was going along. Because I thought it might be a funny idea, but yeah. It might be too much. Maybe I'll have it as like a little Patreon only video if anyone wants to stomach it. Yeah, you're paying for the privilege of torture. Anyway. That's fine though, because all you have to experience of it is roughly 2 hours tomorrow. And then it'll be over forever. Thanks everyone for coming along. Hope you have a lovely week. Hope everybody can have some good rest and sleep so that we're a little bit more alert for whatever comes our way. My brain said that should go into a song, but I don't know what song it is. Anyway. If you do name the video Classic Cult Game Call of Cthulhu Best Bits Highlights. Yeah, and get a lot of confused and or angry comments. Have a grand old time, everyone. Look after yourselves. I'll leave you with some Adrian von Ziegler. Of course I will. He's great. Have a great week, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. Goodbye. Thank you.